Bacon? Bacon? Small bacon.
Hey, welcome to another edition of JTJU, where we all try to be just a little better at the game of Clash of Clans. I've got a clashCOOLER session for you. That's where we'll actually plan out, using Twiddler in a live streaming format, an attack for one of our clashers. In this case, it's going to be a Town Hall 9 attempt attack on a max Town Hall 9 base using zapQueen Penta. And then, if you want to see it, you can see the actual results of that in our real Clash session with the link that's going to be up there. So take a look, hope it helps, and as always, post questions or comments in the YouTube channel if you want. Talk to you guys later. Okay, so we've got a cooler session with JTJSteve. We're going to take a look at a Town Hall 9 base and kind of walk through the attack, thinking about creating the plan, and then maybe, if Steve's nice, we might actually have a replay of the attack of how it works out, or you can just look at it in terms of an opportunity for how you might approach planning for any Town Hall 9 base. So go ahead. Colonel Mustard's on with us, as well as Steve. So go ahead, guys, and we'll just go from there.
All right. Mustard here. So checking this out, Steve, like I think, tell me what you think. I think you got Teslas in top corners here, with one in this pocket. Over here, I think it would be here because that's the only thing that makes guarding double giant bombs, which I believe. What do you think, Steve?
I definitely think that's the best way to place them. If they're not placed like that, then they're almost a non-factor.
Yeah, I agree. What has this clan had in the castle mostly?
Nothing exciting. Dragons primarily at Town Hall 9. Some hound action.
Okay. So I think the way to deal with this, if it were a hound, it would be great. If there were a Town Hall 7 that could scout even the CC. But assuming we don't have that, I would just find a place to trigger this CC. I would pull the CC over here, kill it away from the base. If it's a hound, you can ignore it. But if it's anything else, I would maybe actually pull it. Probably pull it over to this side. And then is because I think there's a pretty powerful town. What level is your lightning?
Just 5.
Okay. You may still be able to pull that off because of his queen's proximity to this air defense. Jump this wall as part of a patrol and wander through here. And get the queen air defense, I think, even with 5, if you have 4 lights. And that essentially leaves you 3 ADs up. Kill the CC over here and light the queen and zap that air defense. That leaves basically a Penta on this base. And nothing else really. You're pentaing into 3 air defense, and you have maybe a haste spell left. I think that's pretty potent. So in fact, I just pulled this. I've just done this attack recently myself. I think I had both heroes up. Granted, I had a hound in the CC, giants and loons. But so I didn't have to mess with the CC. But I had 13 loons, a hound, and both heroes up at the end. Whole attack took them 5 seconds or something. And that's not just me. I've seen that repeated. So I think if you can get these two, given the weakness base's design, with 4 light, take a single haste, and what you want to use that haste for, get loons kind of quickly onto Teslas to that air defense. Then I think you can come in with hounds. You always want to fly hounds across as many trap places as you can, so that they suck up all the things that would threaten your loon. You would want to come in with hounds here. You're going to have 20 loons. going to want to go 2, 2, 2. Coming in the backside of this air sweeper. We'll eventually have to deal with this one. But what you can do is, yeah. So get this as the CC kill. If you get the CC kill over here, heroes may wander into here and get that air sweeper. That'd be nice.
Colonel, wouldn't we want to trigger and try to kind of get a double dip off the lightning strike if you're going to do this? Pretty much in line with the draw. You could get the CC
that's a great point. Yeah,
right
I bet you can trigger with a single hog onto this archer tower.
And then they'll be sitting right where you want to light, or at least close. I mean, I wouldn't stress it, but if it's there, you just kind of see
it just makes it easier, absolutely. And then you just drop your queen out here somewhere. She wanders up.
And you can
whatever comes and shoots at her.
The queen's hit points are at 930 at level 13, and the lightning 5 is a 450 per strike. Well, in a deployment of it. So, I don't know how many. The pattern would be interesting to if you really were getting anal, but how many? So you think 4? So that gets you up to 1,600 damage applied in an area. So surely the queen would drop from that.
Yeah, it's 4 though. I've seen it tried with 3, and you just don't want to take the chance that one of your bolts misses or 4 is the right call.
I think you'll even get that AS down with that. If that AS might get caught in the spam of the pattern.
I think it's possible, but what I would make sure is that I hit at least one corner. Like I would aim for that corner of that AD. The queen will time it a little too, right? So the queen, don't wait for her to jump over. When she's right here at her launch point, you want to basically say 1001, 1002, drop, and then she's going to jump into it. Wait till she's here. Sometimes she does like this squirt out and gets away. So it really needs to walk into it. Watch her walk around her pad for a minute. You'll get the timing. But when she is where she is in this exact picture, that's when you want to
drop the payload.
Yeah, quick count, because the lightning takes a second for everything to spin up anyway. And I think if you drop it here, if you don't take that sweeper down, you'll at least make a real dent in it for sure. I don't remember what the strike pattern is, but then if you get your CC kill over here with your heroes, the way like an old school Penta would have done, they'll come in here and take that air sweeper.
Yeah, I think Dart's old attack of the KHC, where he uses the King Queen to kill the CC, and then he pentas off that. There's a video in the tree off of that. So basically, at that point, you're doing that style with the bonus of one of the ADs being down.
Then you got just 2 hounds here, right? Phase, and I think you're gonna want to go like 2 loons, boys, 2 loons. This last bunch goes down here. Actually, get that right. After that's done, and as soon as it's done, go ahead and go hound. Now we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of our 10 double loon drops, right? You'll want a max want like a max hound in the CC. You can drop him in the beginning or later, but he's gonna for that 3rd phase. And left 1.
And so the timing of that 3rd phase, do I wait till as soon as that last AD's firing and then begin that phase?
You got so much hound tankage in this. I really think you just go around the base, man. You don't have to necessarily. The more all of these loons are converging in on the middle at the same time, the better. So I would go kind of hound. At least get this side of the base over here. At least get that side of the base down, and then you can sort of take a tactical pause and see where your hounds are over here. Because you don't want 3 hounds flying around at the end in case fast. Might delay here a little bit, but I think that the key with this attack is getting everything down so that it's sort of not trying to slowly work around the base with this, not spread out enough. You want to have a lot down at once and kind of doing simultaneous convergence. I think that's the ticket. Like I said, watched 3 replays of this yesterday, and it was the longest attack took 1:40. So you can imagine there's not a big. You don't have to spam it, right? It can be precise, but you don't need to sort of wait for everything to develop and track. You're gonna have 3 hounds in this triangle. That's like, I don't know, wicked high hit points, tanking. So the more everything gets in, the better. And then in your cleanup, you're gonna have so many pups flying around. It'll be.
Yeah, most of your pups are gonna survive just fine, because you see your 2 whiz towers up top are kind of separated. One will be down, and the other one, the AD, will be down, so you won't even have hound risk there, and the other one's away. So when they pop, the whiz towers won't take them out in groups. So I would expect a lot of your hound pups are going to be surviving from the pop moment, and so your cleanup should be pretty good.
Yeah, and the only thing I would do is, I think I would make this drop. So then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, that's 10. And I think you'll just absolutely wreck the base.
Now, one thing with that drop that he just flagged there, I think, I don't know if you saw, like Genghis had a replay of a similar type drop, but when you drop that hound at 11, as soon as he gets engaged off the whiz tower, you're dropping the loon set there, because you're going to get a slight, maybe 1-2 shot distract off the hound before your loons get into that whiz tower, so you'll really help yourself out if you can. The biggest distract you're going to get from that hound at 10 is for that whiz tower. So just make sure it's like hound and then your loons. I wouldn't go hound, and then come back from 2 o'clock. I would be, because the other whiz tower has, I think that's in range of the, it's close to the edge, and it's a little bit more in range. So anyway.
And that's a good point. I think you probably, while you have hound selected, could go drop, drop, instantly loons, drop, and still get the tanking. Because I want these guys out of the way, but these Teslas are no joke either.
Yeah, you just won't get any. You won't unless you immediately have those loons following that hound at 11. He's going to fly on by, and then that whiz tower is just going to be waiting for your loons to fly in. So it's not as ideal.
Yeah, you could do hound loons, and then finish the rest of the drops. Either way, but yeah, that's a fair point. But a whiz tower doesn't scare me with 2 as much as it scares me if it's shooting lump of loons. With 2,
you're worried about the end.
Yeah, with 2 loons, it's these Teslas here that scare me more, and that's why I like the haste.
Oh, is that where you would put the haste? You'd put it up to 12?
to bum rush those Teslas, yeah. Because Teslas on 2 loon groups, especially if they both fire. I mean, it's like seconds and a loon, and you don't want to lose any of these top loon teams. I would use the haste to rush the Teslas. The whiz towers, are more. These bottom whiz towers to me are like the bigger issue, because down here you're going to have some 8, 9, 10. Maybe slightly weak 7 loons flying around together that trickle down from the top, and that's when I think the whiz towers become more problematic. But the great thing about his whiz towers and the bottom is they fire at the hounds, which is perfect.
Yeah.
So,
and the 1 and 2 does it too. It has an overlap. It does. So.
Oh, does it? Oh, well, then you're in great shape. Yeah. So if that's true, it takes all the pressure off your the 2 o'clock loon drop and puts it back onto the 11 o'clock loon. Those loons down fast, because that hound will fly all the way across, right?
Yeah, and you might want to precast the haste then if you're really worried about the Teslas, because they got an activation range of 6 and a firing range of 8, or is it 8?
Yeah.
8's activation, firing range of 6. Yes, yeah.
No, I think it's the opposite.
6 and 7.
They fire further than they activate.
Right. So it activates at 6 and goes to 7. So you need to. So they'll be activating when your loons are like at that barrack. That one at 11:30, the Tesla there will activate. So you'd almost want your. Who's
Tesla
taking
at
that? Who's
Tesla
taking
at 12 will be firing on the hounds too.
Okay.
Tesla at 12:30 or 1:30.
That's good. That's a fair point.
12:30.
So you think that?
Yeah,
so you're more hasting the loon team from 12 o'clock that's going against that Archer Tower. It's what you're trying to haste that down into.
Yeah, I think I'm just trying to help that top group get down into the action, because once they get down to the air defense, it's expos, and then they're down into the rest of the mix. I just think getting them over. Yeah.
Fair enough. Plus your 10 o'clock, 10:30 team would go Wiz Tower Cannon and then hit your haste.
Have Steve? I think you have a lot of extra power built into this attack. I think you're surprised at going to be surprised at how powerful it is.
Yeah, it seems pretty clear. I think as far as like testing this process, if you can get me to do a successful air attack, then that'll prove the value of the clashCOOLER for sure.
Yeah, and done. But then if you fail, what does that mean, Steve? what do we then we figure out something else?
We just delete this and move on.
Yeah, that's right. See, you know how it works.
Point one is getting this Queen and AD down together. That's a critical point. Make sure that you sort of spend some time timing that out, and just don't leave anything alive in the CC. If there's a dragon in there, it needs to go down. So you could conceivably drop 2 loons, take a few Wiz or a bunch of archers or something, whatever you think it takes to get the.
But remember to do that pre-trigger at 9, because if Colonel's point around nothing running more than a minute and a half to finish, you got plenty of time to trigger the CC, let it sit there for a minute, let the Queen walk all the way around her pad again. You got more time than you think. So
yeah. Okay. And if it's a hound, just ignore it.
Hound, ignore it. Yeah. Yeah. It can't do anything to your main attack unit, so just light the Queen and attack, and he'll fly around and spit.
Or if it's your first time, maybe as a first time try of this, don't do that double dip, because that is a little stressful. You're triggering first, then you're working. So if you want to keep it simple, just kill the Queen and the AD first, get that done, then trigger, then kill. Because either way,
if you can trigger on this Archer Tower, can we verify real quick where that edge is?
Yeah, I have it up. Hang on. It's relogging. I thought I had it up and kicked me out. You want to know if the Archer Tower is in range of the CC?
Yeah, I think you.
No, the corner's not. If you came in from 10, it is. But then I think the attacking force will go to the Wiz Tower, so your trigger would have to be maybe that cannon at 2. It's not an easy trigger. You might get it. Yeah, it's not easy.
At 2. Can you get the Wiz Tower at 2?
Wiz Tower at 10 actually might be a little better. Yeah, if you went between the Wiz Tower at 10:30 and the cannon at 11, right there between the two, both those corners that touch are in range of the CC. So like if you dropped a hog and jump into that to see what comes out, because again, you don't even need to get it all out. You're just kind of curious what comes out.
Right in here is what you're saying.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right where you do the white line. Yep.
Yeah, so just do that, and if it's a hound, just attack. Or, well, make sure you do lightning first. But if it's a hound, do that. If it's a dragon, you should get it out with a single hog. Problem is, man, if it's anything else,
it'll be going in the wrong line. It'll be more like over the elixir storage.
Bunch of wizards or something like that. That could be. Because then you may not get a full draw. So why don't you take 2 hogs?
Because you do want to draw them back. Because actually it would come out if I was going. I hate to mess up Colonel's picture, but if you were going to, I think people can see my pencil in this stream. But if it came out with a trigger here, it's going to flow probably to about here before it dies. It'll be over the elixir, somewhere around there. And then if you drop a hog more this direction, coming towards this
Not
Archer
seeing the
tower,
pencil.
well, you won't, but in the Twitch stream they will.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But then if you came at the Archer tower at 9, then the team the CC that's sitting on that elixir storage at 10 will move basically right over. They'll get some splash damage off of your hits on that spot that Colonel pointed to for the 4 lightning. So it's almost like a 1-2 because you've also got to have them die. You might even go with like a weaker troop for the it's almost like there's a trigger troop and there's a draw troop. So you trigger it like 11 with like a hog, maybe 2, and you want them to die, and then that CC team's then hovering over the elixir storage at 10:30, and then your draw troop is something pretty weak, like a barb that you drop, and it's going to walk towards the Archer tower range, and as they walk in, then that'll die probably within a second or 2, and in that time they'll probably have flown right between the AD and that Archer tower. They'll be somewhere in that. I would think they would cover about 4 or 5 tiles of time.
They'll draw up here like this and fly, you.
Yeah, that kind of line.
So maybe drop an archer on the flag.
Yeah, something to draw. Yeah, because the more acute your angle, the better. As long as they die, they have to get under whatever your draw troop is. You want them to die quick. So that Archer tower down at 8 would probably take out your draw troop pretty quick because we don't want a lot of movement out of your draw. You only need it only needs to move like 4 tiles. So like a weaker, like an Archer, to your point, would be good as long as it doesn't stand off too far.
So like, as long as we're spending something to get the CC deployed, I would love to have like that whiz tower gone because that's big splash damage out here away from where I'm doing my main attack. I could get rid of this loon drop, right?
Yeah.
Just say, okay, so maybe this is 3 hogs or whatever we think we need to take down
so you're
the
trying
whiz
to get
tower.
it down, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then he runs in, or who knows what they do after that. That's not so important. You got the drawdown.
You know what, Colonel? That actually might work out because then if you come on the 10 side of that whiz tower, the pathing, I think, well, no, it'll be tempted to go. It'll be a split decision. Will it go to cannon or will it go to the AD? The survivor. So if you go 3 hogs on that whiz tower where you just drew that white dot, the surviving hog would probably
I think he'll go to the AD. Yeah.
It would, you think?
Yeah.
So if it goes to AD over the cannon, that's actually centering your CC for you. That brings your CC right into the kill zone.
Yeah, but if it doesn't, don't even mess with it. You're gonna draw this. Hopefully, it brings this. Hopefully, it drags them out and over. That'd be great if it does. But this needs to go down. This is critical. So once the CC's out, you see what it is. What you're gonna have to do here, though, is forget the haste. Because it's a blind CC, you need to have the poison in case Valkyries you wouldn't worry about, right?
In all the attacks that Dart did using this technique of using the royals to take out the CC, he rarely had an issue. I mean, the king would be deployed initially. He takes some damage with the team, then he uses his ability, spams the barbarians, then the queen comes in behind, she kills it, and then it's done.
Yeah.
He never had it. It was never close.
Yeah. That's cool. So you draw with 3 hogs, you get this whiz tower down, hopefully it lines it up. You got your light going on here. As soon as that's done, if whatever's straggling from the CC, kill it over here. Kill it. And hope that group comes in and gets the air sweeper, but it doesn't really matter for you because you're off to the races with this. I think it's a good plan, man. I think.
At least it's a good example of a lot of good techniques that people, I think, will be interested to see.
Good.
So what's your final thoughts? Haste versus poison again?
Yeah, I think Rye's right. Go ahead and take the.
I think the haste. You can go ahead.
Yeah, take the haste. I think.
I'll be surprised.
What level are your heroes?
Yeah, what are they?
24 queen and 18 king.
Oh yeah. You're good. That's fine.
Yeah, just throw a couple of goblins.
Just remember the
put
timing,
a jump
though.
spell in,
One
and it's
king
all over
first takes damage, then ability, then the queen behind. And if you feel like you're under pressure, then use the queen ability early to get her archers on the field.
Yeah, it's just to get the CC down. If you get the air sweeper, it's gravy. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, well, good luck. And thanks for being on the cooler.
All right. Good luck, man. See you.
Thanks, guys.
Don't touch that, Larry.
Touch it, Larry. You know you want to.
Larry, don't touch
Larry,
that.
do it. Do it, Larry.
Larry!
Yes! Welcome to the first day of the rest of your life, Larry.
What'd I
Good
just
job,
say, Larry?
Good job.